back to our weekly series where we try to understand how projects work end to end. And so far, we have done a lot of exploration of different tools such as Docker. And what we see here in front of us is how the Docker desktop would look. And in the Docker desktop, what you see here are images of the different applications that are available. Now, if you go to container here, what do we observe in the container? What is this container showing us? Right? This container, this is showing us the different images that we have created and ran successful. So, having these containers will allow us to understand how and when we have been running these different solutions. Okay. Now, I want you to imagine an actual container. Okay, an actual physical container. Right now, this container will have some goods, right, and it will be having different locations that it can be moved to. Okay, so let's say that imagine we have a container here, right? Let me create a container. Right. So this is a container, or at least it's an attempt at creating a container. Now, this container is having our image, and we want this image to be available in various places. Okay, we want this image to be available in various places. So first thing that we will do here is we will check on Docker on what is available and what is not. Okay, so we go to Docker and we have our repositories, and within the repository, do we have any tags? We don't have any tags. Okay. So what should we do? The first thing before we do anything is we come back to our images. Okay. And let's say this is the image that I have. Okay. I will run this image. I can run this image directly from here. Okay. And I can also provide a container name here. Let's say that I will give test container. Now, last week we looked at all of these process using our command prompt. But today we are taking a look at it within the app itself. So we'll click on run. Okay, and it is running. And then let's try to open the application. Okay, so it's not able to connect to the application. Okay. So maybe there is some issue here. So we can stop running this one. Okay, and let's try another image. Let's take this image and let's run this directly. Okay. I think there is some probably there is some permission related issues that pop up when you try to run it in when you try to run it using your using the web app. sorry, the text of application. So if we go to the command prompt, right, and we can check for Docker images, we can see that we have these images, right? And if we come to the, if we come to our Docker command here, first of all, we will take a look at the tag name. The tag name here is test tag. Okay, so we will say Docker push, and then from pushing from the Docker, right, we can then give this name, which is the account username, right? And we will give the tag. Okay. So it is going to try and push that application to Docker. Okay. So here, this application has been pushed into the Docker, and it says that it is already available. So this is already available for us. Now, our container is ready. Okay, our container is ready to be used wherever we want it to be used. Okay, so the next task that we need to do here is we need to figure out where this container has to run. Okay, where do we want to run our container? That is the next challenge, you can say, that we face. Now, if I go over to the application here, okay, to an extent, if I go to this one is my application. Okay, so maybe I will start analyzing the image. Okay, so when we analyze the image, we can try and see if there are any errors in the image, if there's any issues or any potential issues that may be available in the image, right? Then here you can see we can also push it to Docker Hub if we want to. Okay, if I want to push it to Docker Hub, I can. So I can do different things from my Docker Hub on the desktop app itself. Okay, now what does it mean for us? So we were talking about our container, right? So we have this container that contains different images. Okay, or maybe it's just a single image. Now, I want to run this anywhere. Now, luckily for us, Docker, you can have a corporate account or a company account or a combined account, and you can share it across with different users and they can work. Okay, you can share the repository with different users and they can work. Okay. What about managing the container? We have already seen that when we were trying to run the Docker application from our desktop app, it was having some issues. Okay, so what can I do here? What I need to do here is I need to figure out some way in which I can manage this application. How? How can I manage this application? What is the options? What are the different options for me? So what I want now is some kind of container manager. And now this isn't the first time people have had this discussion. This isn't the first time somebody is facing this problem. So what do they do? We have something known as Kubernetes. Kubernetes is a platform that we can use. It is also sometimes known as Skates. Okay. This is a platform that we can use for container management. Okay. This is a platform that we can use for container management. This will do a few important tasks for us. First of all, it will automate deployment. Okay, it will automate deployment. It will do scaling for us. Okay, scaling is a very useful method for optimization of the overall cost. Okay, now why do we need to do scaling? The simple fact of the matter is, let's say that we divide a day into different parts. We have different times. Okay, so let's say that I have 12 to 6, 6 to 12, 12 to again 6 p.m., and 6 p.m. to midnight. Okay, we have different time slots. Okay, now in these time slots, I have, let's say, 100 users here. I have 250 users here. I have 1,000 users here, and I have 1,500 users here. Now, across the time frame, what do we observe? We observe that as the day progresses, the number of users who are going to be using our application is increasing at an exponential rate. Right? So, what does it mean? It means that there will be 15 times greater traffic at the end of the day compared to low night. Right? So, what we need is a way in which we can deal with all of this. Okay? So, how do we deal with all of this? I can increase the size of my server. Okay? Simple. I can increase the size of my server. All right. And I can say that, okay, previously we only required 8 GB RAM, GPU to run this. Now let's increase it to 32 GB and we will be able to manage easily. Okay. Straightforward. Right. So, 4 times the size. But what about the cost? The cost is also exponential, right? The cost associated with this will also increase exponentially. That is unfortunately the harsh reality that we have to deal with. Okay. So, in this scenario, what can we do? What should we do? What if there was a way in which we could increase or decrease the size of the container depending on the requirement at hand? Okay, let's say that at a given time, I want 32 GB RAM, but at the same time, during certain durations, 16 GB is sufficient. So let's say we have three options: 8 GB, 16 GB, 32 GB. During midnight to 6 a.m., we only require 8 GB. Same goes for 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. Between 12 p.m. and 6 p.m., we require 16 GB. And then after 6 p.m. until midnight, we require 32 GB. These are the different requirements that we have. Okay. So what do we do in this scenario? A simple solution here is that we will, at any given time, on the requirement, we will upgrade or downgrade the instance that we are using. Okay, and this is what we will be doing in terms of scaling. And the other benefit here is that in case of any problems that might occur, right? Let's say that our container is failing. Okay, we have our container here, and this container for any reason is failing. Okay, what can we do? We will have backups ready to deploy without any breakdown of service. Okay, without any breakdown of service, we will have an application which is going to be ready for deployment. Any lack of service is not accepted, right? Even if the application goes down for a few minutes, you just know that there are going to be a lot of complaints. So in order to deal with that complaints, we will simply ensure that we don't have any breakdowns whatsoever. Okay, no breakdowns, none whatsoever. Okay, this is how our applications are going to be built. Okay, this is the benefit of using Kubernetes. Now, in order to install Kubernetes, we need something known as Minikube. Okay, excuse me. So, in order to run our Kubernetes, we will use Minikube. Okay, and Minikube installation, we want to allow a single node Kubernetes cluster to run. Okay, a single node cluster. Okay, now what we will do here is we will check different ways in which Minikube can be used. Okay, one of the things that we need for Minikube is virtualization. Okay, so you need to ensure that your system has virtualization capacity. Okay, if it does not have virtualization capacity, then you need to maybe install one of the virtual machine softwares. Okay, that is the first requirement. Then we want to run Minikube on our PowerShell in the Windows. So we have something known as a PowerShell, and I will run it as an administrator. Okay, I will run this as an administrator. And the first thing that I want to do here is I want to check if Minikube is working, and I will say Minikube start. Okay, so that means this error here means that Minikube is not available. Okay, so what can we do here? We can search for Minikube. Straight, simple, right? I will come here, I will search Minikube, and we will just follow the directions here. Okay. So I will take the executable path. Okay. And I will download this. Okay. It's a fairly small size application. Okay. And essentially what we want to do here is, I don't want to just run it, but rather run it as an administrator. Okay. So it's gonna ask for your permission. You just say yes, select the language. Okay. And agree to the terms. Define the path where you want to install. Okay. And that's it. Minikube is installed. Okay. No. We don't need to use this path. Okay. Because we have already installed Minikube for our system. But now we have to run it. Okay. Now we have to run it. So I will copy this path. Okay. And basically what I'm doing here is I'm trying to add it into the system path. So again, I will open the PowerShell and I want to open it as an administrator. All right. This is something that we need to keep in mind. Always to run these things as an administrator. Okay. So we'll let it run and then. The next thing that we want to do is we want to check if Minikube is installed. Minikube. So again, I will close this again. I will open PowerShell again. And I will run it as an administrator. Okay, so I'll say Minikube start. Okay. So just download the necessary files for us now. Okay, so here you can see it is such a straightforward process of setting up a cluster in your own system. Okay, you will not have any difficult requirements whatsoever. Okay, no difficult requirements or anything like that. Okay, you just need to ensure that virtualization capacity is available in your system, or you need to download one of the virtual machines. Something like VMware or VirtualBox should do that for you. Okay. So now it is downloading the necessary files. So let it download. Once this installation is done, we will also try and understand how we can explore and how we can set up different Docker images in Kubernetes and how we can run them. Okay, so that is the plan. Like now we are waiting for it to download and install Kubernetes in our system. So again, you can see what are the benefits here of having. What are the benefits we are having? Okay, so here, for example, it is checking for different private networks which are available. Okay, so maybe some private networks are occupied. Okay. Let's just wait for it to search. Now it is preparing Kubernetes cluster for Docker image. So kubectl is now configured. Okay. And I can essentially say here minikube, let's say cube. So kubectl hyphen get pods, and let's say -a. Okay. So now it is downloading the kubectl for us, which is also required. And now we have kubectl. So we can now check whether kubectl is working or not. So I'll say kubectl get pod. Okay. And it is available for us, right? And I can also have a dashboard. So I'll say minikube dashboard. So let's see. Let's wait for it to run the dashboard. Right. Here we have it. Our Kubernetes dashboard, which is running on the global system. So next time what we will do is we will explore this further. Okay. And we will try to deploy Docker on Kubernetes. And then we will see how we can use the dashboard to monitor our Kubernetes images. Okay. That is the plan. Correct. So thank you so much everyone for joining in today. And I hope you were able to learn something new in this session. And we look forward to seeing you next time around. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a great day.